Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? It's very nice to see you. So, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Hanifah, Tria, Syafitri, and my partners, Ratna Aliyyatussa'diyyah and Widya Paraswati. We are from the group 1. So, today we are going to do a presentation. The main topic of this presentation is clause structure, and this main topic contains 3 subtopics that we are going to discuss. The first subtopic is word structure, the second subtopic is phrase structure, and the last subtopic is syntactic elements and structure of the clause. Okay, so here is the first topic, word structure. Okay, the first thing that we have to know about word structure is, what is word? What is word? So word is the basic unit of language, is the smallest unit of grammar, and words can be classified according to their action and their meaning. For example, study. Study in Indonesia is belajar, right? Study is a word, and it's classified into verb. Okay, what else? Beautiful. Beautiful is a word, and it's classified into adjective. Okay, I hope from here you get the point. Okay, next. Okay, so words are made up of 2 kinds of elements. The elements are bases and affix, and affix is divided into 2 elements. The first element is prefix and the second element is suffix. Okay, so let's get started to the prefix first. Prefix is the element added in the beginning of the word. For example, this plus appear, disappear. Appear is a basic word. A basic word is like a kata dasar in Indonesia. So here, appear is the basic word, and this is the prefix. This plus appear, disappear. So the next one is suffix. Suffix is the element added at the end of the word. For example, appear plus ends. The basic word here again is appear, and the suffix is ends, appearance. Sometimes if we add prefix or suffix in a word, it will have a different meaning. Like this, appear is a verb, right? But after I add suffix, it will become appearance, and appearance is not a verb anymore, right? So if we add prefix or suffix in a word, it will probably have a different meaning. Learning prefix and suffix, it's like learning in Bahasa Indonesia. In Bahasa Indonesia, we call it imbuhan kata, but the classification is the same, prefix and suffix. Okay, if you are still confused, I will give you another example. Slowly working and in danger. Okay, have you looked at these examples? First, slowly. The basic word here is slow, and the affix is ly, and the kind of this affix is suffix, because the affix is located at the end of the word. And so the working. Working, the basic word here is work, and the affix is ing, and this kind of affix is suffix, because the affix is located in the end of the word. It's different, like in danger. In danger, the basic word here is danger, and the affix is an, and this kind of affix is prefix, because this affix located in the beginning of the word. Okay, I hope you get it. I think that's all for the word structure material. The key is we have to know the basic word and the affix. Okay, so let's move on to the next subtopic, phrase structure. It's going to be presented by my partner, Ratna Aliyyatussa'diyyah. Thank you and keep watching.
The second is phrase structure. Before getting into the grammatical explaining of phrase structure, do you know what phrase is? Phrase is a group of words that stand together as a single grammatical unit and do not contain of any subject and verb. Normally, phrase consists by a head. A head is consists of verb, noun, adjective, adverb, and etc. Alone or accompanied by one or more dependents. The thing that you should notice here is the category of the phrase depends on that of the head. For example, noun positioning as head plus phrase called noun phrase. Verb plus phrase called verb phrase. And it is also applies on adverb or adjective and so on. The next, I'm going to explain about dependence. Actually, there are so many kinds of dependence, but the kind of dependence that I'm going to explain to you is the three most important dependence, or you can call it as common dependence on phrase structure. The first is complement and modifier. The second, object and predicative complement. The third is determiner. The first is complement and modifier. Complement adalah pelengkap and modifier have a function as adjective or adverb. Modifier memiliki fungsi sebagai kata sifat ataupun kata keterangan. For example, he kept her letters for years. Her letters is the complement. Complement are related more closely to the head than modifier, and in some cases of sentence, the existence of complement is obligatory. Dalam beberapa kalimat, keberadaan complement sendiri merupakan suatu hal yang wajib untuk melengkapi kalimat tersebut. So, the second example, she regularly gives us very useful advice on financial matters. Very useful is the complement, and financial matters is modifier. Jadi untuk modifier ini keberadaannya tidak begitu diwajibkan karena sudah ada complement. The second is object and predicative complement. So the first, I'm going to explain the object. An object refers to a person or other entity involved in the situation. For example, I met a friend of yours. So it is expressed that there was a meeting between two people. Refer to the subject and the object. There was a situation that the subject and the object is being interacting. Just the same as Sam appointed a real idiot. The situation is involving Sam and a person described as a real idiot. The second is predicative complement. It is express a property ascribed to the person or other entity referring to the subject. For example, she was a friend of yours. A friend of yours gives the property of the person referred to as she. And it is just the same for the second example. I felt a real idiot. A real idiot doesn't refer to a separate person but describe the subject feel. That is I. The third is determiner. Determiner is a group of words which is placed right before the noun for limiting the purpose of the noun. Jadi determiner ini merupakan suatu kelompok kata yang ditempatkan di depan noun untuk membatasi makna dari noun itu sendiri. It is found only in the structure of noun phrase and it serves to mark noun phrase as definite or indefinite. For example, the dog barked. So, the is the determiner. For the next example is, I need a key. A is the determiner. There are also the example of determiner words such as both, any, less, neither, and etc. You can search it by yourself. There are so many kinds of determiner.
The third material is syntactic elements and structure of the clauses. Now we see the syntactic elements. There are 5 subpoints in the syntactic elements. The first, subject and predicate. Second, predicator. Third, object. Fourth, complement. And the fifth, adjunct. Now we discuss in each subpoints. The first is subject and predicate. What is the subject? Subject answers who or what carries out the action, or who or what is the sentence about. Subjek menjawab siapa atau apa yang melakukan tindakan, atau tentang apa atau tentang siapa kalimat tersebut. For the example, the cat chases the chicken. The cat is subject. And predicate. What is predicate? Predicate is specify what the subject is engaged in doing. Predikat menentukan apa yang sedang dilakukan oleh subjek. For the example, the cat chases the chicken. Chases the chicken is predicate. And the second is predicator. What is the predicator? Predicator is the main action or process denoted by the verbs. Tindakan utama atau proses utama yang ditunjukkan atau ditandai oleh kata kerja. For the example, the cat chases the chicken. Chases is predicator. The third is object. There are 2 kinds of object, direct object and indirect object. Direct object, only one object. For example, you send email. Email is direct object. Indirect object, more than one object. For example,
You sent me an email. Me is indirect object. And the fourth, complement. There are two kinds of complement. Complement of subject and complement of object. The example of complement of subject is the map was useful. Useful is complement of subject. And the example of complement of object, we found that map useful. Useful is complement of object. And the fifth is the adjunct. There are three kinds of the adjunct: circumstantial adjuncts, stance adjuncts, and connective adjuncts. For the first, circumstantial adjuncts, which provide a setting for the situation expressed in the clause as regards place, time, and manner, among others. Yang memberikan setting untuk situasi yang dinyatakan dalam klausa, antara lain tentang tempat, waktu, dan cara. For example, Queen Elizabeth II sails tomorrow from Southampton. Tomorrow from Southampton is circumstantial adjuncts. And the second, stance adjuncts, which express the speaker's attitude to or evaluation of the content of the clause. Yang mengekspresikan sikap pembicara atau evaluasi isi klausa. For example, obviously, he'll rely on you even more now. Obviously is stance adjuncts. And the last, connective adjuncts, which link to clauses, signaling the semantic relation holding between them. Yang menghubungkan dua klausa menandakan hubungan semantik yang ada di antara mereka. For example, the hotel was rather noisy. On the other hand, it wasn't expensive. On the other hand is connective adjuncts. And the next, criteria for classification of clause elements. The first, determination by the verb. Second, ability to become a subject. The third, position. And the fourth, realizations of clausal elements. For the first, determination by the verb. Transitive usually require one or more objects. Biasanya memerlukan satu atau lebih objek. Subject, predicate, object in verb carry. Subject, predicate in direct object in verb send. Subject, predicate, object complement in verb consider. Intransitive, they don't admit an object, but certain intransitive verbs predict a come element of space or time. Mereka tidak menerima suatu objek, tetapi kata kerja intransitif tertentu memprediksi elemen ruang atau waktu. For example, the pilot landed the plane safely. Transitive. The plane landed. Intransitive. Allocative element occur in some transitive verbs such as put and place. Terjadi di beberapa kata kerja transitif seperti put dan place. For example, put the scarf in the drawer. Put is a allocative element. Occur in intransitive verbs such as come, go, fly, drive, which can predict direction and goal. Terjadi di kata kerja intransitif seperti come, go, fly, drive, yang dapat memprediksi arah dan tujuan. For example, they fly south. Copular verbs. Intransitive verbs which require a subject complement or linking verbs. Look, feel, prove, be, smell, etc. Kata kerja intransitif yang membutuhkan subjek complement atau linking verb seperti look, feel, prove, be, smell, dan lain-lain. For example, she feels hot. Feels is copular verbs. And the second, ability to become a subject. Object can become subject in passive sentences. Objek dapat menjadi subjek pada kalimat-kalimat pasif. For example, In active sentence, the cat chased the mouse. In passive sentence, the mouse was chased by the cat. Pada contoh tersebut, the cat berubah menjadi subjek pada kalimat pasif. The third position, objects come directly after the verb. Objek datang langsung setelah kata kerja. Indirect object precedes the direct object. Objek tidak langsung mendahului objek langsung. Complements also come after verbs or objects. Pelengkap juga muncul setelah kata kerja atau objek. Adjuncts come in different position. Tambahan datang dalam posisi berbeda. The fourth is realizations of clausal elements. Complements of the subject or object can be realized by adjectives. Komplement dari subjek atau objek dapat direalisasikan dengan kata sifat. Circumstantial adjuncts are realized by prepositional groups or adverbial groups. Circumstantial adjuncts direalisasikan oleh prepositional group atau adverbial groups. Predicator is always realized by a variable group. Predicator selalu direalisasikan oleh kelompok verbal. And the last is about basic syntactic structures of the classes. Subject, predicate. Tom disappeared. Subject, predicate, direct object. We hired a car. And then, subject, predicate, indirect object, direct object. I have sent them an invitation. And then, subject, predicate, complement of subject. My brother is a physiotherapist. And then subject, predicate, adjuncts. He works in London. And then subject, predicate, direct object, complement of object. They appointed James for secretary. They is subject, appointed is predicate, James is direct object, for secretary is complement of object. And the last, subject, predicate, direct object, locative complement. I put the casserole in the microwave. I is subject, put is predicate, the casserole is direct object, locative complement is in the microwave.
So, the conclusion is, for the word structure, most root words can be changed in several ways by adding additional elements to them. For phrase structure, if it's related to phrase structure, we just need to focus on the head and the dependent. For syntactic elements and structure of the clause, first, the syntactic elements of the clauses consist of the subject, predicate, and complement are essential, but the adjuncts are optional. Second, the formal criteria adopted for the classification of clausal elements are four: determination by the verb, decision, ability to become the subject, and the structural realizations of these functions. Third, clausal elements or functions enter into varied relationships with each other to express different types of propositions concerning different states of affairs. So the material source is getting from a student introduction to English grammar book by Rodney Huddleston and Jeffrey K. Collum, and the slides presentations powered by Slideshow. Thank you for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.